Why? What? Okay. Oh, great! Yeah, her name's Dorothy Harris, and wish her all the best because that is a scary time to have a baby.
Yeah.
That's who directed and wrote that web series you were part of. The Handy People or something.
Job Hunters and
Job Hunters.
She was certainly a part of that group, yes, but she and her husband is the one who directed and I think wrote a lot of it, but I don't know if she wrote any of it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, check it out, Job Hunters Season 1 and Season 2. I'm in Season 2, and it's great.
That's the one I want to watch.
It's very fun.
I'm muting now.
What's that?
Where can you see
where?
Oh, that's on YouTube. Yeah. In fact, why don't I just see? I don't know if I can show it to anybody. I can't show it to me. I was going to send a link or something. You know what?
Hey,
I will. I'll just do it on my Twitter. Go to @BrianToTheLewis and Twitter, and I'm gonna share a link for your viewing pleasure at another time period. Because we're doing this now.
Share dirty do-gooders.
No, because they took that offline.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they took that offline. Yeah, I know.
The only other thing that you can see Brian and I in together, and they took it offline.
Well, Scott, we're about to watch something that we're in together. We're even going to interact with one another.
I know, but I said the only other thing, because Death isn't ever coming out. God damn it.
That's true. Well, it exists in the Soma Transmissions. That's another thing you can see Scott and I on, is Soma Transmissions. And that is also on YouTube.
Or you can just go look at Brian and my awesome scene on my acting reel at thescottcbrown.com. No, scottcbrown.actor.
Yeah, that's so much easier.
Because I'm pretentious enough to have a .actor domain.
Very nice. Very good. Are we? We're still talking. We're still vamping. What's happening, guys?
Well,
I'm staring at Bryce in the hopes that he will eventually introduce what is going on.
I was trying to talk to chat about to make sure it wasn't all echoey.
It's just gonna be echoey today, so I don't have an aneurysm because I've been working on this since 4 o'clock.
Well,
Oh man, I'm sorry.
It's 6:30 now, everyone. So you know what that means. The game night with Zoe, which was canceled, and now became game movie night with Zoe, is getting ready to start, because if you weren't half an hour late, what would you be doing? So, it is definitely beer time, Pig. So make that happen. Tonight, we're going to be watching The Gamers, Dorkness Rising, with these two beautiful gentlemen.
Ooh, did you hear that, Scott? We're beautiful.
Well, I mean, look at that facial hair. I think we know both you beautiful men.
There's a first time for everything, and today was me being called beautiful.
So, if you didn't know, the one on screen, maybe on screen, I don't know, but they are Scott C. Brown and Bryce Lewis.
Hello! Should we have? Is there a way to put our names on the bottom? I don't know if there is.
There is at the studio.
At the studio.
Okay.
It's not at my house.
And Matt Vansel is in chat, so that's a thing too. Don't say anything you wouldn't want him watching you say.
That leaves it wide open.
So much possibility there.
So, without further ado, we could start this movie and we can start.
I made a title sequence. We're watching a title sequence.
We're watching a title sequence
it's the
now,
only
everyone.
thing that went well.
So we're doing a title sequence. I don't know if you can hear me over that, but whatever.
Yeah, they can. I didn't
Good.
mute the mic.
Good. So there's title sequence.
Title sequence.
Is it over?
Yes, it's over.
Okay, cool. So without further ado, we're going to watch this movie and hear all the cool behind-the-scenes shenanigans that happen.
Oh, uh-oh.
I hope
Well done on the title sequence. That was nice.
We'll just have to remind them of that.
Really hard on it.
Ugh.
All right.
I have this super weird experience of Brian is frozen on the chat for me, but he's moving in the street.
So the hope is that it's not too echoey. The hope is that you guys can hear me. And the hope is that you can hear us over. We'll see if
What?
those things happen.
What? I can't hear you.
Maybe we'll just, oh gosh, when you start talking, it better quite a bit. Hey, that's back when I was Brian Lewis.
So yeah, why did you change?
I changed because I needed to. I joined the union, and there was already lots and lots of Brian Lewises, and so they said, you can't have that name! And so I had to think of something else. So now I am Brian S. Lewis.
Is the S middle initial, or do you just like the letter S?
It's complicated. It's not that...
It's
not
really
really my
stand for terribly sad, then terribly sexy. Now it's terribly sophisticated.
Yeah. So you know evolution and stuff. Ooh, can you see that?
What?
What? Is it your middle initial? Was there a similar thing that happened? Or are you just like, this is me, deal with it?
I knew Scott Brown was going to be too generic way back when, so when I started doing theater, I became Scott C. Brown, and now it's a very inside joke of all sorts of things. But it is the initial of one of my middle names, yes. Yes, I have two. My parents were very diplomatic. One of my middle names is Dad Gibbon, one is Mom Gibbon.
Ooh.
Stay there till we return.
Oh, the French accent was such a good idea.
Was it French?
Well
Oh, it's
played.
French? Oh, good, yeah.
Needed accents that don't want to upset anybody, so it's just like unnamed.
Eastern
Uninvited.
Yeah, it's Eastern European something, that's what it is.
Not American.
Goddess. She cannot help you.
I like the shoulder pads on Christian.
Anything to make that guy look a little bit beefier.
Just made him look like a chip. Very triangular.
It goes with the guy liner.
You know, the first couple of times I saw this, it didn't bother me, the fact that, like, there's, like, zero blood, even though we have swords and stuff. You know, like, it's just... I mean, you see Christian as what's-his-face, you know, kind of do this move because he just got sliced, but there's zero wounds at all. It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, just spreading the costume.
Ten versions of a costume. You can't really do much.
Yeah.
Is there a reason you didn't turn those ghouls, since that would help us not die?
Hey guys,
I don't know.
Detective Trap Cats. Grey Mouse would be proud.
That was an ambush, not a
Oh,
trap.
look at that earring.
Even you should know the difference.
Oh, by the way, way to defend
Are you saying you don't wear that earring
Let
now?
go, what, 6 seconds?
No.
I didn't see you helping. In fact, I saw you dying like a white.
Why not? Why not, Scott? Why don't you wear anything?
Maybe I was.
In fact, Matt had me re-pierce my ear to put that earring in.
In the room when I get flanked. You are supposed to keep people off my ass, and you are supposed to keep healing me. Which brings me to my lack of power.
I'm no longer a pirate, that's why, Brian.
I lost them. Did I mention losing my power? Guys!
I'm more of a ninja.
That's actually, that's when trucker hats were in. Do you remember trucker
I
hats?
didn't even know it was
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Christian is wearing my trucker hat, and he never gave it back.
It fits the story. It doesn't fit the rules. Story trumps rule.
It's like one of my guitars.
Boss,
Yeah.
I did get it back 10 years later, though.
Well, that's good.
And of course, I can't expect you to know where we keep our products, seeing as how you work for me.
All of them.
Excellent.
And I still have them all.
An original fantasy world with its own...
So it's going to be my retirement plan. I'm going to eBay them all.
A cookie-cutter setting with no real surprises. You should have told
I'm waiting for Gamers 4, but
Why should I have told you that?
moths might devour them by then.
I don't know if
You're waiting
there's
for
actual flavor in them too.
Character knowledge. You'd know, but your character wouldn't.
That is so cheap. Cheap. It is not cool to let a character advance that far and pull something that huge off.
It was supposed to
Yeah.
be a
Offices,
nasty
yeah.
surprise. Something
Yeah, that wood paneling was the old DJ offices in Tacoma.
So unexpected, the party died. This is what happens.
So many locations were shot in that office space.
maybe that it would force you to role play.
What do you think we were doing? Hey, guys, come on.
Ooh, gosh.
Same time next week?
I'm seeing my face and my younger face like next to each other. I need to go jogging.
Looks very cool. You strike out. You commit seppuku.
So,
I'm just
the
envious of
facial
my
hair,
own
Brian.
hairline.
Campaign?
We've played it twice already.
I'm starting to look like Nathan.
Again?
No.
I have a reputation. There's not a game on these shows that could beat me. So what kind of
Nathan
Look at that jet
actually.
black that there is.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Thanks, Cass. That's real thoughtful.
So, for those of you who don't know, this movies generally take, anywhere from a month to maybe 3 months, depending on the movie or whatever. We started filming this in early 2005, I believe,
Hey, Mitch.
and then finished it in late 2005. It took us like a whole year. Actually, we started in 2004. So, at the time that you're seeing right now, the real world, the non-fantasy world, is when we don't really know each other very well yet, and we're just sort of like coming into making relationships with one another, and we got really, really close very, very quickly, and so by the time we did the fantasy world, like we were just really tight with each other. Yeah.
Yeah, about at this location, at one point, well, not this location, we were hammered at this location.
Yeah, we were hammered there, man.
Dick for your campaign.
Yeah, Brian brought sangria, and I think this was the second night we shot, and we weren't really aware of how long it takes to move lights and get shots set up. And so
Still gaming?
we figured, oh yeah, we can have a sangria. That's great. We'll do that while they're setting that up.
Oh, they're still doing that. Let's have another one.
And then we finished the sangria, and those beer bottles on there are empty because we drank those as well. So yeah, that scene, I believe Matt can corroborate this. 16 takes.
Oh God.
Oh, no.
You guys are dumb.
Yeah. He was not happy with us. We were happy.
Pretty die again
It was some of the best, most natural damn acting we've ever done.
when they die. Ungrateful munchkins. I'm really kind of pissed off. And that has nothing to do with your writer's block. I do not have writer's block. I know exactly how the story ends. I just don't know how to get there. Obviously, neither do your players. How am I supposed to finish a module based on an adventure if we never finish the adventure?
I love it so much.
Just run
Speaking of drinking,
or your head explodes. Let's start all over again.
I'll be right
I
back.
have a few new players. Mark.
Ducked out of the frame.
Mark, why don't you join? I mean, you used to game all the time in college.
And he's belly crawling across the room so that we don't see him pop back up.
Total party wipeout? Like, you can't even...
So something really weird is Brian Skype for like 20 minutes, and then I completely see the movie stream.
Mark! Haven't seen you in a long time. It's like
I didn't hear anything you said, Madeleine.
found one of the newbies.
Oh, well,
It was covered by the screaming.
Joanna keeps bugging me to get her involved, so I figured
it wasn't that important.
Of course it was.
Joanna, she'll be joining us?
Yes, finally.
Strong Lodge.
Oh man, that is not a good look.
See you scrub tomorrow.
Apparently we're leaving. See you at Leo's. I'll try not to slow things down too much.
Oh,
I did not know what to do there. This was our first movie for a lot of
you
us,
need to know.
Thanks, guys.
and this is one of the first scenes we actually ever shot in the movie. Yeah, I think actually the first scene.
Yes, it was.
You have a first name?
I think my back is somewhere in the scene as a customer.
The game Matrix, I believe, still exists in Tacoma.
Yes.
But
It does. Chris, the owner there, passed away last year.
he's right behind the counter there. Yeah, on the left.
All right, what you got?
Half-breed.
Loot the room or kick in the door?
Kicking down.
Also, all the bullshit that you see between Christian and me is all real.
Where's player number 5?
There is no.
And it was us figuring out our relationship. So that wet willy is real. The dollar bill from my mouth, from my armpit to his mouth is real. Yeah, there's not a thing.
One 11-year-old cry and they stop bugging you.
There's we've been on a lot of, like I said, like this is one of the first movies. It was my first movie. I don't know about you or you, Scott, but like
My first.
Ninth level.
it's we've been
What are you doing?
on a lot of film sets afterwards, since then, and like I had no idea how sort of unique this, I mean not unique, but like different this movie is than like typical movies. Like we were able to do so much ad-libbing, and like that's usually not a thing. Like a lot of the interactions that you see are made up on the spot that day.
That is what I made for you.
Let me see that.
Well, do you also remember when we were shooting this, we did so many pages
What the
per
hell
day
is bikini?
that the
Very best armor a female could wear. There's a picture
the producer, who shall not be named,
That looks like it.
was
She fights with a
getting on us about not managing time well or something to that effect. I remember there was a huge
Kevin.
debate about all that.
Kevin? You have a first name?
Yeah,
Or maybe it
I
was
guess.
a nightmare, I don't know.
that's a possibility. Although we were, it's amazing how many hours we were doing this every day.
And I don't want her to die.
Yeah.
She's inexperienced.
What makes you think I'm gonna die?
Whoops.
History. New guy always dies.
That is so
Laptop
Hey,
fell.
remember the time that those halfling pirates made him watch
Shut
the
up.
play? Or the time that those gnome shopkeepers ambushed him and shut him? Or that asthmatic 6-year-old princess with...
Shut up!
I flipped through that handbook. I think I got the gist of it. It doesn't seem that hard.
We were playing.
Sound effect added either.
Okay.
We were playing Munchkin in the beginning of the scene, which was Steve Jackson Games, and it was one of our contributors of the movie.
She doesn't have
But it's a really awesome game. If you haven't played it, I strongly recommend it. I played it with my daughter and my wife a few days ago because we were quarantined. Lovely game.
No strength bonus. No constitution bonus. How many hit points does she have?
let me see. 45.
45 hit points. A 9th level fighter with 45 hit points. Oh yeah, she's really gonna protect the party.
Really gonna
Other
put your
feats and speed and precision. That's why intelligence is more important than strength.
Oh yeah.
It would be if you were a wizard.
Oh, yeah.
You're not a fighter.
We actually gamed as a group before we shot.
Sign on her back.
With her charisma, she should be able to talk
Well,
the Atomos.
yes, most of you guys gamed. I gamed
Negotiating is
when it was a white box that you got to color called D&D
Yes.
by TSR Games, and
If you play this character,
Tell us another story, Grandpa Scotty.
2 hours on this character, and I'm gonna play her, okay?
okay.
you know what? I'm gonna go get a drink. I can see it's gonna be that kind of night.
Why did you two break up again?
Gary, character.
I'm a wild mage. Wild!
Wild!
But you losers can call me sorceress. Yes, that's right. I'm playing a chick.
Dude, are you hot?
17 charisma.
Want to have sex?
Totally.
Awesome. I seduce him. Her. Yeah! Oh, I could totally seduce any homophobe with that role.
We haven't started yet. You guys haven't met.
Yeah, all right. Phone you later.
I'll be waiting, Bandit, after we've started. Please. Leo, I assume you're playing a fighter again?
Actually, I'm going as a bard.
Really? That's a bit of a jump for you. You've only played fighters before.
So I'm so glad we figured out like what early 2000s pop punk band Christian was like a member of.
Think Kung Fu Monk.
Oh, you guys already figured that out?
Yeah.
No,
It was-
it doesn't.
Check
The
out
book
the
had-
early
You guys that there are no monks in my world.
I told you that if we're playing by 3rd edition rules, I can play any basic character
That
class.
era
And
of
Monk
this also looks like it could be a pop punk band.
is a basic character class.
Yeah, but he's the
I've based my world on a fantasized Western medieval period.
I,
No,
I'm like locked in
Western Europe.
to that little bit of,
Ones, I can
you
play
know,
a character that I want.
chin facial hair for cast now.
Blocking me. You're breaking.
I would not make that same choice in the future.
And
That's all I could really grow at the time. It's kind of like, it's baby me. It's fun. It's like, hello, baby me. You can't actually grow facial hair except right here. Isn't that cute?
Fine. You can play a monk. But he's got
Anything can't grow hair at all if you do that, so that's a thing.
Occidental.
Well, Nathan actually has kind of a good thing going for it. Not me. I never really like to, tease him too much about the stuff. Other people did. However, we are all showing age a lot more, whereas, relatively speaking, he doesn't look any different from now to then. It's kind of incredible.
I'm not listening. Adventure starts.
Yeah.
I thought it was
Adventure.
all these
When a
fantastic
monster
creatures
comes
running
along,
about.
you must stab it. Yeah, when you face the evil throng, you must stab it.
We begin in the throne room, where 3 of you have answered a summons to the king.
I'm upset. I missed the wee.
Let's talk there. My bad, man.
There is a great evil in our land, the vile necromancer Mort Kemna.
Where was this film?
Daily his power grows stronger.
This was filmed at the not Pythagoras, Knights of Pythias.
Knights of Pythias.
Tacoma. Knights of Pythias, all in Tacoma.
It's incredible, actually, because where it is in Tacoma is it just looks like you'd be able to miss it so easily. It almost is a legit secret building. I mean, like, it doesn't look like anything on the outside. There's just a door, and you go inside, and you go up some stairs, and there's this huge antechamber that we're filming in, right here.
The staff.
And we could smoke in the hallway.
That's true.
If one of your party should fall during the quest, it need not be their end.
Need not be there.
Go forth, noble heroes. May Theron light your way.
That's not Todd Downing on to the right, is it?
Nope.
No, that's someone else. Okay.
Go
No.
forth, noble heroes. May Theron light
Todd
your way.
wasn't part of the group until Journey Quest, I think.
As they shuffle toward the safety of the castle.
Corn, celery,
That's Ed Gibbs. No, not Ed Gibbs. My bad.
onions,
Head Start.
Ed Stark.
cabbages, the finest.
And that was my original character.
Why?
If he's from out of town, he might be able to tell us what
No,
it
that's
is.
I was cast in Ed's character.
No way that you know.
Yeah, Scott was cast as the farmer,
He's a random NPC.
and actually, none of the original cast except for Christian were cast in their roles that they received.
And Jen.
Which of
Oh, I guess
Jen and Christian.
Don't worry, buddy. You don't need anything from me. We know where we're going.
No.
I'll show you. I'm coming up. My alter ego character is coming up soon.
We need to go.
Yeah, and the best part was I was super excited that I wasn't going to get blown up by Christian.
Yes. No.
And then I read the rest of the script and said,
I still want to talk to him. It's what my character.
oh well.
How long have you
Yeah,
been
we'll
talking?
get there
Oh, scarcely.
when we get there. So I have some questions about that.
Oh yeah.
Have you heard anything strange in your travels?
Yeah. I forget the situation with Scott, but I was cast as another role, and there was another more attractive fellow who was playing, who's cast as Cass. Like,
Hush your mouth. He was not more attractive.
Maybe nothing.
He was he's cast and
Sag.
oh, he was SAG. Oh, okay. Well, I thought he just didn't get the jokes and he didn't like really work out very well, so they gave the part to me.
That could be. I don't know.
Yeah, like when we were doing the read through, and like I was laughing like tons, and I was sitting next to Matt Vansel, like yeah, and he was giggling because I was giggling, and the other guy just like did not get any of the jokes.
Oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah.
He was yeah.
The first thing you do after boinking a stranger
No idea what his name is.
is to murder
No.
a peasant because you
Nor do I
were
care.
bored.
I'm chaotic neutral. I'm just playing my alignment. Boom!
How come we get to see Brian drink, but not
That was
me?
a decidedly evil act.
Oh, there we are.
I am morally
There we are. Cheers.
One more of those.
I'm drinking some Eagle Rare
Chaotic evil. Got it?
And Brian,
because I can't afford scotch anymore in Washington, so I've had to shift to bourbon. And I'm
I'm
almost
drinking
out.
14-year-old black velvet whiskey. It was not because it was
Black-
saved.
Black Velvet.
Are you forgetting something?
Oh, you got some
Yes.
on your
It's
face.
11 years old. That makes it
Like what?
My father-in-law and mother-in-law don't really drink, and so they've had liquor. Like, oh, by the way, this is that random creepy knife dude. That was who I was originally cast as.
Creepy knife guy.
So the best part is the original writers for Dungeons and Dragons, Sean K. Reynolds and Ed Stark, are now portraying our original characters, which is pretty kind of awesome.
Yeah, that's really nice.
If this is about that farmer,
And both of those guys are okay. I got to tell a small story. After this was done, Gen Con 2005, they asked me to go. I have no idea why, so I went. And I had to be dressed in my Flynn the Fine costume. So I've never been to a convention, let alone a Gen Con with, I think that year was 75,000 people. I am walking through downtown Indianapolis before an Indianapolis Colts pregame football game. I had two kids come up to me and say, "Can we have our picture taken with the Pied Piper?" I said, "Sure." So I knelt down and I put my arms around the kids, and their dad took the picture, and he's like, "Man, thanks so much. You really made their day." I stood up, turned around. 3 Indianapolis policemen are asking me what I'm doing, and I said, "I'm here at Gen Con," and they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "You know, the big convention that 75,000 people are at today?" And they're like, "Okay, well, just move along." So then all the football people are saying all sorts of lovely things about my legs, about my outfit. And I go to see the gaming. Steve Woldrick was there, Ed Stark, Sean K. Reynolds, Aaron Williams, and Monty Cook. And I told them this story when I got there, and they're like, "Dude, that's wrong." So when we left, the game was exiting, and the 4 of them are flanking me, heckling all the football players. So, "Hey, did you like patting his ass?" And all this stuff. It was amazing. And then we walk into the screening of the trailer for this movie.
Yeah, not even the screening.
And we walked in, and we're screening this little thing next to Dungeons and Dragons 2, the movie, in the hall. And there's like 8 people waiting to get into that. And the people waiting to get into the trailer for this movie were outside the little area on the street. And we were walking in. These 4 pillars of the D&D community looked at me and said, "I think you're going to have to get seats." So I got to walk through, and nobody knows who I am. They haven't seen any of this. They just see this Pied Piper dude leading 4 visionaries into the screening room. It it was the best ever.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and Sean and I are still friends to this day. We did a mean rendition of some Queen karaoke at one Gen Con.
After a few hours, you come to a clearing in the
Oh, it was bad.
This is of course this is in like what 2007 or something like that, which is when the story takes place. So like this is before it was commonplace to see people in costume and cosplay. Like it was a weird thing to see.
Yeah, this was 2005.
Oh, we shot this in 2005.
I know. I went the year that we shot this by myself, and then we all went in 2006.
Chat wants to know, did you shave your head?
I got your gob dog.
Is this why?
Are you trying to kill us?
You know, I believe this is a totem to...
There is no such thing as a really good bald cap.
God of the moon, I believe. Indeed I do.
Whenever I play Brother Silence, I always pick my head. Because it looks really good.
And I have a picture somewhere of you, Lodge, you, Nathan, Crispin. I don't think I could shave my head because I was in a play, and Gen H, where the three of you were all completely bald.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that picture is, but I remember taking that.
Don't worry. I got
Is it black and white?
I'll totally pass it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I had that.
Good. Yes, that is my singing voice. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, Madeleine, what were your questions about
At 29 minutes.
me getting killed by Christian?
I just didn't know if you had a running story of how many times Bard died.
All right, everybody roll an ish.
Yes.
We can keep track of it, right?
One of the Kickstarter campaigns, I believe
I rolled
it is,
these dealies, then
because I had to write out all the character sheets. I believe it is a total of 57 bards. Bard characters.
All right, I'm making a tally right now. One death.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're playing the drinking game at home.
What about me?
Oh wait, drinking game.
So,
Drinking game.
That's right.
Bards died.
Dorkness and
Bards died.
You get another attack.
I do.
You took first strike. When you go first,
You should have also made
you immediately get another attack.
a Joanna Spakes cast
I get another
drink.
Yeah. Thanks, bud.
Brian talks so the camera comes off me.
You see, I add my int and dex bonuses to my crit range.
I need to pick my nose.
Get an extra attack every time I land a critical hit.
What's your critical range?
Let's see. 13 to 20 without bonuses.
So I guess that brings up another question. You mentioned that you wrote out all the character sheets. Were all of your character sheets written out for the movie, or were you just looking at like?
Was it just looking at what?
Were you just looking at like just prop character sheets, or did you guys actually have written out what your characters were?
Wild magic, sex ball.
No, we had actual character sheets that most of us had filled in ourselves.
Yeah.
And goblins.
And Rel.
I think actually someone
Surround Daphne.
Hold my action.
had that. Like they got that for some sort of like
Twice.
backer reward or something. I believe so. Not sure.
So where was this field station?
This is behind the Tacoma Cemetery.
Are you sure?
And firing range. Yep.
I don't remember this one. I know that we did a lot of things behind the Tacoma Cemetery.
Yeah, this is just outside where the fireside scene was.
Oh, and
This is
Yes.
Tacoma Cemetery. And this, coming up right now...
Alright. Dead again!
Oh, you can't really see it. We couldn't figure out how to have it look like I was on fire when I got hit. So Brian kindly gave me a cigarette, and I just smoked a whole bunch of it. So when I got hit, I just exhaled all the smoke. So no special effects needed. That's the depth to which I will go to make a movie awesome. And from then on, I was a chain smoker. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, that's all me, buddy.
Hey, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Brian hooked me on the cigarettes.
That's actually someone's house that looks like a castle. It's pretty incredible.
It's called Denning Castle, and he doesn't own it anymore. He sold it. And, little known fact, he wanted to build a moat around the house, and the county would not allow it. And this scene is shot in Matt DeMille's garage.
Yeah, I must.
And all the walls that you see around there, those are all going to be the village where we find Demon. Those are the sides of houses, and they put them up around in a 2-car garage, which, off to the side, was Matt's totally tricked out D&D room that looked like it had castle walls. I mean, it was intense. It was awesome.
It's super intense. It's pretty impressive.
And Matt really knocked everything. He and his dad just did so much in the art direction here. It was the unsung heroes of this film.
Yeah, I never would have guessed it was the garage.
And I gave Don his haircut.
Introduction would seem in order.
What is the proper name? It's art director.
These lands belong to
Art director.
Lord Kelton. Yes.
I thought Don was the executive producer.
No. I was talking about DeMille.
He should have been art direction. I believe.
Production design. The Byhawk.
You're held. Leo, you're in.
Oh man.
Fear not, I have returned.
It was our fight choreographers were Kevin Inoue, and you remember it was a Scott.
Damn it, I had his name and now I've forgotten it. But yeah, here's your tally, get ready.
Oh, that's right. Oh.
And Brian kills me. Cheers.
I had forgotten that I killed you. Yay! I get a turn.
I think the only one who did kill me was Carol.
Yeah. Why?
Just asking.
Stegosaurus!
I'm Lord Agrippa.
Oh, that was so much fun.
I control the ninjas. Are they ninjas?
This scene was almost 16 takes too because Don couldn't stop smiling.
It's true. I kept on breaking him.
Lord Agrippa ain't going nowhere.
There was a great direction that I always look forward to. Matt Vansel was the director of this, and he, after we got a take that worked out, he would often say, "Okay, yeah, we got that one. So now, do it wrong.
Something else?
Do it wrong.
Do it wrong." And we got some really great ad-lib stuff out of those.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
Paladins can't let evil acts happen if they know.
That was so much fun. It was either do it wrong or less suck, more good.
There's a ninja outside.
I seriously doubt he'd fall for that.
Oh, I don't.
Dice decide that sort of thing.
That's right, baby.
Oh man, those were tiger's eye dice. They were so pretty.
What? Yeah, we know Hadoken was the wrong thing. Shut up.
Not escape my justice. Come forward, so that I may smite thee.
So many people back in the day were all like, it shouldn't have been Hadoken, it was something else. I can't. But life
my wickedness with an angel of righteous fury.
Oh,
Why are you necromancing yourself?
so much fun. I think we should write another thing where we tie Don up just so we can hit him in the face with his own hands.
SOL. We could have a Demon Hunters episode where it's you, me, and Christian just beat the shit out of Dawn. I think that would sell. I know it didn't die, but I'm still drinking. Where did the ropes go? Where did the rope? Oh, well.
They went with them, I guess.
What did you say? You cut out.
Where did the ropes go?
Funny story. Strangest thing. He tripped.
Tripped.
And, on the way down, beat himself to death. Yes.
Did he say where Mort Kemnon was?
Not as such, no. Did you find that evil?
He escaped.
Oh.
My shame knows no bounds.
Shame knows no bounds.
Yeah, you suck.
Flynn, what did the barmaid say?
Yeah, and every time I see this, I'm filled with such joy. I mean, I've seen it like a lot, like far too many times. But like, I'm filled with such joy because I haven't seen it in a long time. But I'm able to tap into those memories of the fellowship that we had. You know, putting this together and the long hours that we were with each other, and it's wonderful. It's a fantastic little time capsule of a wonderful project that I made with wonderful people a long time ago.
It's the best film set I've ever been on, and I've been on a few, and nothing. I don't think anything's ever going to touch this.
Like steel wrapped in silk.
And the fact that we're all still friends is, well, most of us are still friends. Is amazing.
The great majority of us are still friends.
We won't name names, Christian, who lives in Olympia and doesn't hang out with us, but most of us are still friends. Yes, no. We're all very pleasant to one another.
You don't really want to finish that thought, do you?
I'm sure he does.
Good girl.
Tell me, minstrel. What do you know about Lord Kemna?
This was the hardest ADR.
An enemy of the
It was raining when we shot this, and the audio was so bad we had to go back afterwards. And I believe everyone in this scene recorded ADR.
The god wore the mask.
But on mine, it pans away, and so I had
gains the power of the god.
It was more than 16 takes, I can tell you that.
All the powers of death. How could there not
But I still love this scene. It's just, it's so. It was the moment I understood meta.
Missing?
Is that true?
And yeah. And on the day, in that moment, I still remember it. Just you and Nathan, and I'm saying these lines because that's what I'm supposed to do. I can't say that's what I'm paid to do because we didn't get paid, but that's what I'm supposed to do. I didn't even know what the frail I was saying, or why it was funny, or anything. And Nathan and Brian knew that. Those expressions on their face are just like, dude, You're doing it right, but God, I wish you'd figure this out real quick. And look at that face on Brian. It's just like, oh, why am I in this? You idiot.
Then Jack trapped the god of the sea in a prison of ice, and
then Matt told me to. He said, find a word that's hard to pronounce.
Ransomed him back to the mermaid.
Interesting, but
And I found ransomed because I forgot, and I was almost to the end of the card, and I'm like, oh shit, Nathan's supposed to correct me.
Of that god.
Okay, ransomed.
Indeed.
Great.
The four elements.
Could have been merfolk. That's a weird one, but no, I picked ransomed.
Together they form the strong fifth element.
Like Matt says, less suck, more good.
Oh, wrong.
We should go to bed soon. Morning is coming.
we must get our rest if we're to find.
Sorry, what?
Are your little mystical things?
What if I should find you first?
No, Matt wrote them.
Yeah.
Abandon this road or die on.
However, I was encouraged because we played these characters in different kind of like role-playing games and stuff, and there have been a couple of different iterations of our GDR characters as our RPG thing we played. And one of them, I believe, is Kevin Nicholson's. You actually get more points if you say wise things as Brother Silence. And I was never able to like think of something that sounded wise but really didn't like sound like garbage.
I had no idea it was so late.
I mean, I heard some really good ad-libbing in the show, but like none of those wise say.
Political commentary.
Nice dodge, Garrett.
The best part was Andy Dobrowski and I have two bards, and he wrote a Windows app when Windows Phone still worked. That was the periodic elements, and as an Easter egg, when you got to Boron, if you tapped the tile, it would flip over and it had Brian's picture. And that's really my motorcycle.
Okay, I was just about to ask whose motorcycle is that?
Yep. It was supposed to be Matt wanted us all to pile into some beater car. I was like, no. Let's use my motorcycle. That would be awesome. And he's like, we can't get 3 people on a motorcycle. And I said, we'll figure it out. And we did.
I've got the story.
And then if you watch the outtakes, Christian almost broke my motorcycle.
Try paper.
But that's okay. That was 2 a.m. It was 32 degrees. And every time I'm supposed to say, if this is about that farmer, I totally thought he was a demon. And about 12 takes, I said, if this is about that demon, I totally thought he was a farmer. And then we'd have to reset. I'd have to ride the bike around the parking lot. Everybody's getting pissed off. Nobody could feel their extremities anymore. And at one point, Christian jumped on, and I did not have my hand on the clutch, and he put the bike in gear, and it lurched forward, and died. And then it took about 5 minutes to start, and I think that's the only time in our relationship ever that Christian was more afraid of me than I am of Christian.
And impregnating my entire world.
But it started again eventually, and we got the tape. But
me?
that was brilliant.
They're the ones who kill people before they have a chance to speak.
They know you.
So glad that Matt listened to me and we put the motorcycle in.
Keep them on such a short leash. That's why you dropped a policeman.
Yeah, it is definitely funnier watching 3 grown men try to fit on one motorcycle.
Yeah, it's true. Once a decade, I get a good idea.
Naturally.
And I blew it on that.
Alright, well, we'll see what I can do.
At least it lives on in posterity. And Brian was smart. He's like, no, I'm not sitting on the gas tank. All right, bitch, it's fine. I'll sit back there.
Oh yeah, I was not interested in getting close to your motorcycle at all. I I've never actually been on a motorcycle before. I think that was probably my first time, and perhaps even my last time.
Where the hell did I park?
Well, if it was only running right now, I'd zip on down to you. We could go for a ride again. Oh! And that's not the last time Christian rode on that motorcycle, because we did Romeo and Juliet in Gig Harbor and a couple rehearsals. For whatever stupid reason, I was riding the motorcycle and Christian needed a ride. So he actually sat behind me, and there's two dudes riding a Harley out to super ritzy Gig Harbor at night across the Narrows Bridge.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there was nothing wrong with it at all. It just looked funny because there's me and Christian riding this huge motorcycle on a very windy bridge, getting blown all over the place.
Oh, sure.
Both of us are screaming like little children. I think that's appropriate. That's pretty much what we sounded like.
Yeah, you can make fun of it. It's fine.
Yeah, okay, great.
So, do either of you guys know what theater that is?
ACT, isn't it?
ACT?
I think that's ACT. Because I think Carol was doing some work there even back then.
I think Carol had it in with that theater.
That's in downtown Seattle.
Carol had and continues to have like she's doing shit like all the time. And she's a actor in the Seattle theater wide.
Yeah, I've seen her in a number of shows. But do you think she comes to see me? No. That's okay. She's better than me anyway.
She usually like comes if you invite her.
Oh, I have. Oh, are you saying she's come to see you, Brian?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Slow sip that, baby. Slow sip that.
Let me answer that with another question. Shut up!
Shut up!
Boss, dick.
Second AD over there on the left.
Dark and low light vision. Low reflex.
This is also at the DG office.
63 hit points. Regenerates 5 hit points.
In a little closet room. I think it was storage.
200 hit points. Freeze underwater. Immune
Ryan, is there a bunch of stuff at the left and right that they had to clear out just so that they could get that shot?
Oh man.
Am I on mute?
Morning, Steve. Morning.
No one is reacting to anything I say. Am I on mute? Oh, really?
Sorry, I was on mute. I didn't hear that. What? Sorry, wait till all this hubbub dies in. Ask the question again.
The movie is really loud compared to your TV.
Everyone. Okay. Yeah. So, what is the question?
Seattle Pirates, wasn't it? Most of them?
Yes. I believe a lot of the Seattle Knights double as some of the Seattle Pirates. So I think our in was the Seattle Knights, and they, like I said, like a lot of them do both, and so they arranged more. I wasn't in the scene, so I don't know all the details behind it. If only they had a vandal.
I know Jim DeMille is in this, and I think Damon Willick, who ended up doing a lot of the fight choreo for Journey Quest, Kevin Inouye, and Scott are all a part of that.
There's Jim right there, yeah.
and I think that's how that came about. And Seattle Pirates is a big deal here in Seattle when we have Seafair. They do an actual landing on Alki Beach, and they're a big part of that. So the Seattle Knights and Seattle Pirates are often the same group.
A lot of them each other, yeah.
We also had a question from Curie about that scene. I don't know if you guys know, or maybe Matt. But Curie wanted to know how many takes did it take to get all of the
Bring in a new character. Another bard.
What's wrong with Flint?
Matt would have to answer that because neither Brian and I were invited.
Lose a level every time I'm resurrected. I'm like at 4th level. He's almost not worth playing.
Oh yeah.
Not being invited is not the same as like, you know, not being required for the shooting that day. You know, like it's we just wanted to say
we weren't required. We weren't invited either. Because it was at Wizards of the Coast, we've been to other scenes that we were shooting, but because it was at Wizards of the Coast, they wanted to keep it to just the core people out there. That's what I was. I wasn't being catty. I know, it's rare.
A scruffy-looking peasant is
Right.
marching through your gear.
I waste him with my crossbow.
And that gentleman is the composer of Pizza Jitsu,
I'm a woman, you fool.
Mr. Phil Price.
right. Not the composer of everything, but I believe he did compose Pizza Jitsu.
Yep.
I'll try and
Stephen Walbrecht is the composer for most of the things, especially Journey Quest. That's
Amazingly, the peasant is no longer panicked.
Bryce, you have nothing.
Not my voice.
Forgive me, master.
Actually, a guy that Matt and PLU people knew who was going to school to be an opera singer.
Crap, I didn't give him one.
So,
I guess I'll call him...
Willem, my lady. I live in Westhaven. At least I did until...
well, it's weird to see Phil without such a full beard.
I know.
I'm the only one left.
I think that's when he started to grow it.
No, my lord. Only the fiend knows that.
It's very
The
neatly
feet.
framed stubble, like
Drasu.
there's weirdly sharp lines on it that I
He
can't
led
I'm out of bourbon.
But I'd rather not
So
speak.
at this point, like when we started, oh, sorry, go ahead.
In Westhaven, the center of town, but...
Oh, I thought someone else was talking. My bad. At this point in time, again, we're in the fantasy scene, so it is later in the year of 2005.
He's not
I did not do. I didn't watch any of the Gamers films or any of the Dead Gentlemen anything when we were doing the Real World. But there was a space of a couple of months where before we were doing the Real World stuff and then the fantasy stuff, and in that interim, I watched a lot of the Demon Hunter stuff. So when I saw Phil, I was like, oh, I know you from the Gamers! And now we're doing the Gamers! It was fun.
I remember at some point during the real world stuff, when you guys were shooting this part, I was out in the garage with Don Early going, why am I part of this movie? I'm the butt of every joke, there's nothing fun for me here, and what is the point? And he's like, just wait till we shoot the fantasy stuff, it'll all make sense. And it worked out, but it was really, I really felt, and because, again, like I said, Christian and I are forming our relationship, Brian and I, and even though I was the game store owner, I felt like the one who was out. Like Cass and Gary invited me to be a part of the group because I had a game store and because maybe they'd get stuff. And it was a really interesting dynamic that in the fantasy sequences, I'm obviously the butt of the jokes, but in the real world, it felt that way. And it was a really interesting dichotomy that Dawn knew way back then that would pay off, and it was a leap of faith, but it was because of Brian, because of Christian, because I felt safe with those guys. I knew that it wasn't Brian and Christian that way, it was the characters being that way.
What the hell is that?
And it's a very interesting thing to put all of that faith into people that you don't know, hoping that someone's going to edit this, that it's going to make sense when it's your first time ever doing something like that. And it's just such a credit to everyone who's been a part of
The
this.
DC to beat this demon's fear aura is a 13-2. You would have to roll
Like I said, we're still
23
friends,
on a 20
we're still very tight,
order to
we
succeed.
still care very much about what happens with each other, and it's,
You only have a 5% chance of rolling that
this
20.
will never be duplicated.
I mean, it's in the rules. Oh, is it okay if we play by the rules? Is
I
that
love
all right with you?
Production stories. Like,
It's really nice.
it's one of my favorite things.
Fumble! That means you're completely compelled, and I get to control your character until you snap out of it.
He's happy about that.
You can tell.
We're playing by the rules. I know you don't mind.
Oh, shut up, Kevin.
Yes, my master.
I would never say that. Please, let me play my...
I don't think there's any actual shots that you can tell, but as Nathan is playing Brother Silence, I'm actually dressed up as Sir Osric. And
Oh, that's right.
his costume is so tiny.
I'm not evil.
Oh, can we talk about Nathan whining about being in aluminum chainmail versus me being in steel chainmail?
But I'm not.
No, I'm asking Brian's permission.
I don't know. I guess so. I mean, you complain about it in every kind of commentary we've done. So why would this be any different?
Okay, just as long as I've covered it before. That's all.
Yeah. You gotta make sure that all the bases are covered.
See, this is why I asked Brian. He is an encyclopedia of all of my grousing.
There's no sign of the others.
I just
We
like
go in after.
Hey Brian, did I bitch about this before? I want to make sure. Did I tell this story about how I was somehow inconvenienced?
I just want to make sure that it's on the record somewhere.
Okay, that one's Nathan. Yeah, I don't think there's a shot of me as Sir Osric.
I don't think there is, but now that you mention it, I remember that. It was so real. Seeing that golden mane with your beard. Look, black dots.
You're wearing black dots.
Yeah.
Are you keeping track, Brian?
Oh,
How many is that?
thank you. That is 4.
No, it's not.
Pretty sure it's 4.
Sure.
No.
We're all gonna die.
Well, that's a defeatist attitude.
Then perhaps you can tell me how we're gonna slay a demon when our wizard wasted his demon frying spell on a peasant.
But he thought it was cool.
Why can't he just cast another?
That's my favorite line delivery.
Because it takes 8 hours of rest to regain spells, and that's with no distractions.
I activate Arcane Recollection.
Right, which does...
At the cost of 2 spell slots, I can regain any spell previously cast.
And it's funny watching Nathan, Lodge go, yeah, which does, because Nathan, in real life, is a repository of every D&D book minutia ever. He can quote chapter, line, and verse of any spell and feat, anything. It's
Osric lays hands on Simon.
Keep it down! I can't concentrate!
My music will help.
Dead! Oh, drink.
How many of those have you got?
50.
I can do
Dead!
that.
Drink! Oh, crap. Oh, crap. Ah.
Yeah.
It's funny how many people who play the drinking game can't remember anything past this scene.
Don't
Yeah.
me. I'm almost done.
Dead! Dead!
I'm gonna die!
Why hasn't your ZOE moved?
I recently found out that I was a COVID-19 meme. Yeah, they used that last "I'm gonna die" and it went out somewhere. It was pretty funny. I'm somebody. And there's Corey Moore.
Nope. Corey Duryea.
Sorry, yes. But they won't find that in the credits. And that's Corey's son. Who wrote a movie that Brian was in called Portal Run.
He co-wrote it. It was
co-wrote
it.
it.
Yeah.
With David J. Henning. And Carol Roscoe was also in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I built the website.
So, in that show, Carol and I. See, in this show, Carol and I are dating, or rather, ex-dating. That really.
2.
Oh shoot! I'm behind on cards.
4. 5. 6. 7. 8. You gotta add 8 to whatever it was before that.
So, what is the Mountain of Bards made of?
What happened to dinner?
Foam.
He was expecting that.
There was some foam, some people, some props. Doing this.
A lot of the crew underneath some of the caves. It was pretty great.
This flask is now full of holy water. Tell us what we want to know, or I'll give you a bath.
Your threat is empty.
Oh.
Torture takes place.
You can hear that in the background.
Yet rustic architecture.
My, what fine yet rustic architecture. I think I will examine it more closely.
Please do.
Where's your master? The Pelican can always bless more water. Didn't we pass a lake on the way here?
The mines! You'll find the entrance in the mines.
And how do we defeat him?
The book. His power's in the book. But his is not the power to fear. Your real enemy is...
You've been most helpful. Oh, one more thing.
Total waffle for the paladin. I feel dirty.
You follow an overgrown wagon trail out of town. The trail.
We clearly did not know what the special effect was going to be on that. Otherwise, we might have been reacting to the thousands and thousands of flies.
The initial hallway leads deep into the darkness.
Yeah, what did Matt say? Imagine a can of cream of mushroom soup or something.
All right.
Apparently, he doesn't like cream of mushroom soup.
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Cream of mushroom soup plus tuna plus mac and cheese. Awesome $1 dinner.
Yeah, that sounds like it's by itself.
Oh, no,
I
not
like it by
myself.
itself.
You gotta get Progresso, though. Go for the top shelf. That makes it a $2 meal, but, you know. Well,
you only have
like
top
all
shelf
things.
for a really shitty bachelor meal.
It was good.
That was a fake door. There was nothing behind that door. Oh, you remember this?
Yes.
God. I bet we could talk about it if the movie wasn't so loud.
Yeah. Yeah, use that remote control and turn down the movie. We have more important things to say.
Yeah, I want to know about this shot.
Well, so I don't know if this is terribly interesting at all, but like, so we were at Fort Flagler for these dungeon scenes, and it was really, really great. It was really awesome because you can actually go to it and go down into the bunkers. In Washington has several of these kind of forts around, and like they have like these all in cement, bunkers from like World War II or whatever. And so we used a lot of them in this film. But Scott and I and Andy Dobrovsky and Aaron Weathers, we actually went back to Fort Flagler like several years later. 10 years later, we were thinking that, like, oh, we could maybe, like, shoot a little short or shoot a little, like, thing, like, behind the scenes, like, this is where we shot this and stuff. But we didn't call anybody, and it was really windy, and, like, we were, like, trying to go around and find all the places that we shot at, and, like, everything was closed up so we couldn't get inside. And that being real boring.
Completely different character being played by the same.
It was a real shame, too, because, like, both Scott and I were really excited about, like, yeah, let's show everyone about what we did, and then like when we actually got there, it's like, this is a bunch of buildings. So we did stuff in there that we can't get inside and look at.
Weren't you a man just a second ago?
Another spell.
Oh, wait.
So all of these tunnels they run under where they had very large cannons. It overlooks out the Strait of Juan de Fuca and was seriously put in place to stop the Japanese Navy from coming in. And so all of this...
Second. I just want to point out, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love that bit in the movie. It's one of my most favorite bits, where you kind of like, after your thing, you're like...
But I get to carry it.
Oh. You like draw back with this huge shit-eating grin on your face. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Apparently, it's known in certain circles as Happy Bard Face. And it was so much cooler in my head, and then I saw this and I was like, what a clown. That looks not like what I intended it to look like, but it had the right effect, so yay.
It's one of my most favorite spots. I think it was great.
But one of the drives that had some of the footage that we recorded had a bunch of sound on it, and when we were in these, you can't see it here, but this is where the munitions used to come to, and they would run the munitions through these tunnels and then feed them up into the guns up above, and we did some amazing Gregorian chants when we were in these tunnels waiting for everything to roll, and the sound guy had rolled on it. And so we got this great, I can't sing, but I can apparently chant well, and we were all just doing these great echoey, booming chants. And that drive is gone, so we have no proof that we did it.
She cannot help you.
But it was amazing, and really eerie to be in these. It looks like catacombs. It looks like a creepy dungeon. It was really easy to get into that headspace.
Face us.
Sorry, I don't know where that story was going. The Gregorian chanting was awesome.
Bodyguards?
Oh, shut up. I'm just taking care of myself.
No, it's fine. Like, I think you're right. I mean, like, it's one of those kinds. It's kind of like my story. It was just like, hey, this was really an awesome thing that happened in our memory, and let me tell you about it. Oh wow! When I actually say it out loud, it sounds really boring.
That would be a copyright infringement.
You know, like, but it's a lovely, beautiful, fantastic memory that I will cherish forever. How when you say it to other people, it's like, oh yeah, so you like, sang really loudly in a echoey space. Cool story, dude. Like it's not all that.
You can use the stuff in the trunk, but that's it.
I love this story.
I'm with you. I'm with you, brother.
Better, but I appreciate it.
No, I'm with you. I completely agree.
Also, they didn't pay for our body doubles in this. I think that we need to talk to SAG.
We weren't part of SAG at this point.
Daphne takes 39.
No, we weren't.
God, I've only got 6 hit points.
It was so much simpler back then.
It's true. It's true.
So,
You
how
with your
was
psionic spirit blade.
Oh man, this was a fantastic, really well choreographed like fight scene that we had been going and meeting with fight choreographers for like a couple of weeks in order to perfect. Unfortunately, there was only one camera, and we only got like footage of one bit. And turns out you can't actually have a fight scene with only one shot. So it looks very small.
Get off the table.
I believe I have.
Yeah, and while they were getting the awesome fight training, I had 2 weeks of fall training so that I could fall forwards and backwards and left and right and not kill myself.
Really?
And we did that at, I believe, UW, didn't we, Bri?
Yeah, it was UW.
Yeah. So they get all this awesome, hey, this is how you use a two-handed sword, here's how you use a one-handed sword, here's some awesome combat stuff. Scott, go fall in the hall.
Stupid cat.
And Joff is amazing. I love working with him.
Joff Gibbs, who plays Lord Kemnon, is actually a ninja. You know, I mean, he was also the purple ninja. Yeah, he was a purple ninja in that scene.
No. In real life, he's not the purple ninja. Nathan's the purple ninja. We need to keep that up. It's been a decade. Oh, never mind. Nathan's not the purple ninja. For the longest time, we were sworn to secrecy. I think it was only Nathan who swore us to secrecy.
I promise you.
It's weird how those things kind of like, just become dilapidated and just dissolve, Like, 'cause I remember that being a secret thing too, but then I guess we realized like, oh yeah, nobody cares. Okay, so I guess we can just say who the purple ninja is.
I'm sure Nathan cares, but yeah, what the hell.
Yeah.
It's Kevin. I mean, you can obviously tell in the sequence that he's the purple ninja.
Yeah, Jeff was fantastic. He was showing us like, oh, what if we did this? And like, it was nice. It was kind of almost having a fight choreographer on set.
Where was this shot?
You can do
Fort Flagler.
Okay.
Yeah, this is, we were in the dungeons before. This is literally like on top of the dungeons.
Okay.
This is where one of the gun emplacements would have been. Not to get too morose, but yeah, this is where one of the large guns would have been. Orc be gone! Gone early and Kevin in a way is the mummies.
Glenn is alone with the grimoire.
I stab it!
Oh god, this can't be good.
Backstab it!
Good call.
You can't backstab it. You can't sneak attack an inanimate object.
Why not? It's
Sure you
thrown.
can.
It doesn't have a discernible anatomy.
It's got a spine, doesn't it?
Yep. Sure does. Oh shit.
We had
Look at all that hair.
Suck. That was unprecedented, Leo.
On the upside, though, you did give me a chance to finish casting my spell.
How many deaths is that, Brian?
Oh crap! Forgot that. Right. I think that is 29.
You're wrong.
Whoa. He's not dead yet.
We can go to the comment section on the Twitch feed. I'm sure someone has it. It's 55 or 57.
Pretty much. You did just explode.
I don't think I die that much from here on out because the staff runs out.
More powerful.
Can we please go to sleep now? I'm almost
done.
You can sleep when we're done here.
Seriously,
This
I've got one
is
hit
the
point
night
here.
of the generator fire.
Said right before
Yes, it is. Oh yeah.
No.
The generator was too loud, so we put a plywood box around the generator
with insulation,
which was still too loud. So then we packed moving blankets around the generator in a confined space within the box, and we were shooting and wondering why there was an orange glow 150 yards away. And then realized that glow shouldn't be there because it's midnight and no one else should be out here. Let us go take a look at what... Oh my god, it's on fire!
There's an inferno!
And we had to call the Tacoma Fire Department, and they had to cut the lock on the gate. And yeah, Matt will have to address what the fallout of that was, but... I think good laughs were had by the fire department.
We all had been watching lots of television and movies and such, and so when we saw this generator being the base of a huge pillar of flame, we were expecting a huge explosion. So we were just like running out into and then like jumping.
There's gasoline in there.
You raised
We were expecting a big explosion to happen. We're like, after we had already like ran out and then dived into the brush, just kind of waiting for the explosion to happen, which never actually happened. It just continued to burn. That's real life. That's what happens.
And part of this scene, the turkey. We had actually cooked. I think it was a chicken, but anyway. We had cooked one, and Sean Shelton, who was one of the makeup artists on this, who would then go on to form Bandersnatch Studios, awesome special effects studio guys. He was the puppeteer, and it wouldn't work. So we had to get a raw chicken and then spray paint it to make it look like it was cooked, and that's what's dancing on. Everything that you see with it animated is the raw chicken spray painted, and I threw out my back. They're supposed... sorry, I don't want to...
Sticks out in darkness.
Okay, sorry, I didn't want to talk over that awesome moment. So my back is out. I don't know what happened. I'm prone with the turkey. They're like, no, it's okay. We don't need you for anything else. And I so wanted to be a part of this scene, and my back's gone. Oh, there's the turkey. And then we had to swap so that Kristen could actually eat the turkey. That's the raw turkey, because it moved, as opposed to the cooked turkey that doesn't move. And then Christian comes over, we sub it out with the cooked turkey, and then he can stab it. Yes, we did magic. spray paint and poultry, it works every time.
I've lost my powers.
The actual gobbling that Tricky is doing is not nearly as satisfying as the gobbling that Sean Sheldon is doing. His was like.
Aftermath. The Hierophant enemy.
And if you ever get a chance to meet Sean Shelton, just ask him to do Darth Vader. It will send shivers up your spine. He's a great voice guy.
Excellent voice guy.
He's a great guy, period, but he's a great voice guy, too.
The longer we wait, the more time the Hierophant has to consolidate power.
It will take us days to cross the mountains.
We haven't a moment to lose.
You journey swiftly.
You know, Brian, I still think you're a good-looking guy, even when you're bald.
Signs of decay that were not there when you were
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
It's taken me a decade to realize that, but it's true.
Wait, you thought I was like ugly when I had bald hair, but when we were actually doing the show? You didn't say anything?
You were 22 then. A bald 22-year-old looks weird. Oh, I outed your age. Yeah, I'm going to tell this story because it's a lull in the action here. Brian would not tell us how old he was when we were shooting this. Because, little known fact, Brian was roughly 8 to 10 years younger than most of the cast, and I was 8 to 10 years older than everybody else.
Not even if I make a donation to the church?
And so we all had bets as to how old we thought Brian was. We all lost.
That's right.
Very mature 22-year-old. And we knew it had to be over 21 because he drank with us. And none of us would corrupt a minor. I mean, no, sorry, that's the COVID-19 coming out. Yeah.
Sorry, Bill.
Sorry, Bill. Oh, that's Monty Cook, by the way. So that's the other triumvirate of the TSR awesomeness that we have. Ed Stark, Monty Cook, and Sean K. Reynolds all in this film. It's almost as cool as the 501st Legion being in Gamers 3.
I've heard it before.
Oh, who am I kidding? 501st is awesome.
It calls forth the love of our goddess.
She's our key makeup artist.
Good. It's time.
Keep that water handy.
And there's death. Journey quest.
Uninvited guests.
Give us the mask.
And why would we do this? It must be destroyed. My dear boy, why would I wish the mask destroyed?
It is evil. It must be destroyed for the glory of your goddess.
And this was at, where was this, Brian? It was, where was this? Yeah, it's a church that was turned into like a dance class.
I don't necessarily remember specifically, but it was a church, yes.
Yeah, it was in Tacoma. Although the stained glass is tissue paper.
And the ribbons in the Hierophant's hats just bother me every single time I see them.
It bothers me so much too.
It's just like, no, that looks so hokey and terrible, and like a third.
Because it's rickrack, and it always looks terrible.
Yeah.
Yep. But hey, we were on a zero budget.
I am so glad I wasn't the one to bring that up.
Hey, just want to chime in. This part looks shitty. Just so.
They had lattice work in that era?
Nice.
It's okay, we put ivy on it. It's totally natural.
So much better with ivy.
It doesn't go up the rest of the wall, it just hangs out on lattice. It's lettuce.
That makes sense.
That's such a theater thing, though.
Which what?
Oh, it's just such a theater thing. Like, this wall looks bare. Just put some greenery on it.
It's true.
What's wrong with theater, dear lady?
Oh, I love theater. I work in theater. I know.
Okay. Just checking. Where we all cut our teeth. In fact, Christian and I were doing A Few Good Men at the time, and two other better-looking gentlemen did not get cast, and they were bitching, and Christian and I looked at them and said, dude, there's got to be a movie for people like us. We're no Tom Cruise like you assholes. We're regular people.
So we just witnessed very, very briefly the cam that is bereft, not bereft. It is in a lot of dead gentlemen like movies where there's some sort of like weapon of some kind, the perspective of a weapon or whatever. Sometimes it's a knife cam. This time it was a spear cam. We need to bring that. I don't know if that's been done a single time in Journey Quest.
No, it has not.
No.
I think we tried to do it in one, with one of the when Inoue was the, I can't remember the character, the orc king dude. Not Kern. Was it Kern?
Yeah, that was. No, you're thinking of Karn the Destroyer.
Oh, right, Kern. Right, you're absolutely correct, Kern. I think they tried to do it, and it didn't work with the DSLR. For whatever reason. Sorry my camera's moving so much, I have palsy.
Think small. Wish yourself immortal. Have her.
I don't really, it's just an excuse.
I'm not gonna judge anyway. Like, honestly, you're here, and I appreciate that so much that you could be doing this on your cell phone, and I would not say anything.
Faux show.
If I was doing this on my cell phone, it would look a hell of a lot better.
I only gripe about cameras when I'm the one behind the camera, because then it feels okay.
Yeah, I tried to find, because I'm in rehearsals for Terms of Endearment and a couple other things, and we're doing it all over Zoom. I tried to get an actual webcam so I could hook it up to my computer, which actually has processing power. I can't find one. They're sold out everywhere. Including Logitech. Website. Everything has stopped. Oh, first world problems.
It's what my character would have done.
You could have been a god. I know more.
See, if Andy was here, we'd have the black magic and everything would be amazing.
He's not even a real character. We can always.
He moved to Orchard.
Wasted. The greatest treasure in the game on nothing but a story decision.
How does Brian look so good? God damn it.
You ruined our game.
Really, Logitech webcam.
Asshole. Asshole. You're the one who bought that last one off eBay.
That's right. The part where everyone gets quiet.
I cry a lot at this thing, but this one legitimately just breaks me every single time.
Which part?
Sorry, after you leave when you're an asshole, and Gary and Carol and I are sitting around talking. It's just what I say. I like the way you game. It was such. And this scene, I will point it out because I have before, and it embarrasses me to no end. But when we do this scene, there's a part in the distance when I'm Flynn with a regular cloak.
You have my thanks.
Oh.
You shall be my herald.
Here it is.
Spread music and peace to all my people.
Oh, yeah.
So, I asked Matt,
The Cantor Prestige class.
because I'm bawling right now. That's my cry face. And we shot it in the wide, and I asked Matt, I said, did you see what I did there? Because I did not want to do it again. I felt so bad that I lost it. Everybody else on the crew, Matt's like, no, I didn't see what you did. Everybody else on the crew was nodding. It's like, what did he do? And like, he's crying. And Matt's like, keep it. So I had to wait 40 minutes for this setup to get done. And poor Emily's standing there, and she comes over to me and she's like, what happened? And I'm like, you were amazing. I felt it in the moment, and it just made me cry. I said, just do that again. And Emily's looking at me like, no pressure. And I'm like, no. You were just so earnest. It was such a beautiful moment. Don't worry about it. And so she's stressing out about trying to give me something that makes me cry. I'm stressing out about having to keep the same emotional state that I got to. And everybody's making jokes, and I'm sitting over in a corner like, leave me the fuck alone. I need to be in my headspace right now. And I'm like, Matt, when are the lights up? He's like, give us a minute. And I'm like, I don't have a minute. And it was just amazing. And Brian, fortunately or unfortunately, had to deal with some of the same stuff in Journey Quest. And I hope he had a better experience of people getting their shit together. But it's amazing when you're doing something like this, and it's just words on a page, and there's 50 million people standing around. But when you're working with someone who can just be in that moment and give you that thing, it's so magical to just forget everything else and to just sit there and be there. And I know a couple projects that Brian's worked on, including Journey Quest 3, where things have been asked of him to go to a place, and it is very hard as an actor to go to those places. But I think ultimately, when they happen, and you see the result, I hope Brian's happy with 3. The reason I say that is because I edited 3, but just that work is so dear and so raw and so vulnerable that you just hope service is done when it's put on the screen. I guess that's my way of telling Brian that I think he's awesome.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. And that's there's been a lot of stuff like that. Absolutely. And it hasn't always worked, unfortunately. But I mean, enough has worked where I think it's kind of like pulled through and all that. So I appreciate that. One of the things I wanted to say though, like, but I couldn't because I didn't want to interrupt you because your story was so long. Was
sorry, my bad.
No, it's okay. Emily Olsen is now, Emily Olsen at that time, she was the one who played the princess, and then in the first Gamers movie, and now she played what is her name?
She's the
Sharon. No, yeah, she's there, but like in GDR, which we're watching right now, she's Sharon, right? So she was again at that time. I at that point I had seen gamer stuff and I knew her, and one of the things that I didn't really know her other than the seeing her on a screen, but I got to know her and we became family literally because I brought my cousin to a party, and my cousin and Emily hit it off. And now my cousin married Emily, so now she's Emily Olsen Kwan. So Emily is now my cousin.
I heard that you were starting a new campaign.
That was an excellent St. Patrick's Day party, by the way. I believe at that very party, I was found hugging the fire pits rocks. Anyway,
you were found doing a lot of stuff you don't remember.
Yeah, I know. It was a long time ago. You know, I just want to say, out of commentary for commentary's sake, it's Brian and I have done a lot of these over the years, and it's rewarding for me to be able to revisit these things at various times. I mean, this is 15 years past when we shot this, and there's some things that resonate universally, but there's other things like friendships, like bonds, like experiences that in other times that we've commented on this haven't caught my eye, but tonight I find different things, and so for me this is one of the reasons that I like doing this, is because I find other things and other experiences and other memories that I have the good fortune to be able to relate to other
Yes.
silly little movie that we did 15 years ago to be worth watching for the upteenth time and get to talk about these things. It's a very special place that I don't take for granted, and I'm very honored that anyone cares what we think anymore about this. And we're getting to the end. Thank you for inviting me to do this, because this has been a pleasure.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, hey, Scott, we get applause. It's timing.
Yeah, it's good timing. Hey, Scott.
Yeah.
So loud. So, before that moment passes, Scott?
Yeah.
Scott?
Yes? Yes, Brian?
I love you too.
I love you, brother.
I love you.
Brian has been through some of the best and some of the worst moments of my life, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Really? I say that and you laugh? Thanks.
It was just at a moment where like there was just a pause and then everyone else laughs, and so it was just in time. Bye.
There's something else poignant I wanted to say, but I've forgotten it.
That's okay. We have the credits too, so it comes back to you.
Oh, the credits are so loud.
Oh, okay. I don't know that we've talked about this before, Brian. Correct me if I'm wrong. But we knew for the rating that we wanted to have, there's our names. We're together. We wanted to have a specific rating for this film, and so we didn't swear in it. But the one place we wanted to throw in, can I go beyond PG-13 in this commentary? The one place we wanted to put in a fuck, we all agreed it should be Nodwick when he kicks over the trunk. And I think there's a take where Steve Wolfreck says, fuck, and kicks the trunk. I really wish that would have been somewhere, but I don't think it is.
I'm not positive, but I believe it is actually. Well, fuck. And then kick. I did, yeah. I mean, like little note, but yeah.
But that's where we were gonna. That's where we get one fuck.
Everyone was eating the same apple, and I. I wanted to be a part of it, but there was no more room on the apple, so I picked up a baguette.
Oh, by the way, the brick wall. I think I've shared the story before, but the brick wall that I break through didn't happen the first time inside the room. Happened outside the room. I still have the brick that has the shield dents in the brick.
Really?
Yeah. I get asked when I'm gonna throw it away, and I'm like, nope.
Never!
We're gonna throw that one away.
It bothers me every single time I see this when the bricks fall down. They don't sound like bricks because they're not bricks. They're like styrofoam that's painted red. And they sound like styrofoam that's painted red falling down. It's terrible.
So, anybody who doesn't know the story, on the exterior view, I came through in one shot because there was no camera inside. It was just me and one other person to make sure that I could get out. And I came through holding the shield in such a way, boom, we did it in one take, everything was great. When we put everybody in the room, which I think somewhere at this point we do the thriller zombie montage, everybody is in that room, and I run out to break down the wall. I'm holding the shield in a different way.
There it is. Yeah, you just went into the wall and didn't do anything.
And it didn't. Oh, great. Okay, perfect. At least I'm narrating in the right spot. So the wall does not move at all, and everyone lost it. And I felt really stupid. I thought people were holding it up outside, and nobody was. And so Matt calls me over. Oh, here's I think where Christian kills the motorcycle.
Oh yeah, up the sound.
Oh, it's gone. Yeah. So Matt calls me over and he says, and I'm sorry for, I'm using the vernacular that we used in 2005. Matt Hansel calls me over and whispers in my ear, Harley riders are pussies. And action. And that's when I came through and tore the wall down for real. Yeah. So I don't know why I had to share that. Never mind. Cut me off. I'm done.
Share whatever you need to share.
Oh.
Who had a dialogue coach?
Which one?
Oh. That's good. Yeah, it's a pretty good joke.
Yeah, should have been more of him.
So, Silent Jim is actually in GDR. It's really difficult to see, but like he's in the background of the last scene with King and stuff. Oh yeah! Oh, cool.
Nice. Good eyes.
So we've been talking a lot. Is there any questions that either from chat or from yourselves that we can enter now that we are doing the credits are rolling?
Was anyone besides us watching this?
That's
Yeah.
because there weren't a lot of questions that came to us. Oh.
Yeah, every question I had got answered like immediately as soon as it popped in my brain. So.
You know, Silas, I believe this is a totem to a goblin god.
We're getting better at this, Brian. It's taken us a decade and a half, but we're on it. Sorry, I talked over somebody again.
Mark wants to know if Brother Silence had stayed as a group, what would he have gotten as a reward?
oh man.
He would have asked to be a god.
I think I don't. Not sure if I've thought about that before, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think so. There is a reference in Gamers 3 that he has prayer beads, like I think +3 prayer beads, which Leo, Scott's character, ultimately gets in some sort of deal that we make. But I'm thinking that. I'm thinking like that he somehow casts like retroactively like. Oh, so like everybody got cool stuff. I didn't get any cool stuff. Okay, here's what I want. And I think he forced Lodge to give him the +3 prayer beads as just like as something as a thank you to allow me to continue playing the game. I think that's what happened. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, Nathan, this bit is Nathan just talking and improvising and continuing to say stuff.
Nathan.
Yeah.
The spatula of purity shall scramble the eggs of your mouth facets.
And I'm standing up there at the door going, Jesus, are we really going to let him keep talking? Because I didn't know him at the time. Fluorescent.
I guess, what was your favorite line from the film that was not your own?
Oh, I have one. Scott, do you have one?
Yep.
Okay. All right. I've said it. I mean, like, there's lots, but I think one of my most favorite lines, and we talked right over it in this commentary. We didn't call it out at all. Was Mitch, played by Matt Vansel, on the floor. And Nathan's character, Lodge, says, Mitch, you left the cat out, or you let the cat get out. And Mitch, who's drunken on the floor, says, we have a cat? That's probably one of my most favorite lines.
Yeah. That is a good one, now that you've reminded me, but I have to say boron or fluorescent, because Brian says both of those with such conviction as silence, that every single time just floors me.
It was good. I actually, there's been many a time when we've been at a con or something, and I have a couple of those lines. I'm lucky enough to have a couple of those lines, and fans have come up to the booth that we're at Gen Con or wherever it might be, and they're like, "Ooh, do a line," and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Which line? And like oftentimes I don't really remember. Like, boron and the other one that's got mentioned is. I mean, those are pretty. Those are fluorescent. They're relatively easy to remember. But yeah, like it's weird to be like going up to someone who perhaps hasn't seen the movie in years, and as hey, can you do the line? Oftentimes we cannot do the line, just so you know, just so you're aware.
And I imagine
many shows since then.
Since you also have some really good lines as Caro, it's also like you've got multiple characters with really good lines.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know about how many great lines Caro has. Caro has more of a journey that I really like. I don't know if I'd say that he has any iconic lines, but yeah, Silence certainly has some fun things. And it's cool because even at the time when we were shooting everything, I knew that I mean, there's moments you have, I think, if you're lucky enough, as an actor to oh wow, this is going to be a line. If this is remembered at all, if this is interesting at all to other people, this line is going to stand out. And when you realize that in the moment, that's fantastic because you can really spend some time in that and make it super special. And that's happened about 3-ish times. If it's happened, if I have lines that are special outside of those 3 times that I'm thinking of, I didn't realize it at the time. But
yeah. It's Anarm is still my favorite.
It's Anarm, yeah. I like that one as well. That's really subtle.
Haven't you learned anything?
I don't like that one. I felt very weird through that whole sort of rage thing that I had. I was still relatively new to gaming, and so I didn't necessarily understand all of the words that were coming out of my mouth. And I know that I like needed to be very impassioned about at this time, but like, I
think my dog's coming into view.
Oh, hello, puppers.
Hey, Ray. Say hi to everybody.
Okay, so
okay. Okay.
I think that's about it for the questions.
Yeah.
Alien Knitter did ask, what are those 3 times you just mentioned, Brian?
Oh, okay. It was the fluorescent, the boron, and those are in GDR. But like in Journey Quest, it was the speech that is in the first season of Journey Quest, where I'm not a zombie. I knew that those moments were going to be important, and so I made sure to do my best to make them memorable and good.
Sorry. I think it worked.
Yeah, sure, it worked. Thanks.
Is there anything else you guys want to tell? Any sweet, fun stories before we start wrapping up?
Oh gosh. Something. All right. So in like I believe, where does this exist? Where does the drinking game exist, Scott? Does it exist in the Blu-ray?
I think it's the Blu-ray.
It exists in the Blu-ray, and I think it also exists in one of the iterations of GDR somewhere. All right. So anyway, there is a commentary that we did several years ago for GDR with myself and Christian, who plays Lester or Gary, and Scott, who's on the call now, who plays Leo.
In case anybody forgot.
Anyway, Christian and Scott and myself, and we play the Gamers Dorkness Rising drinking game, and we make up the rules like while we're playing the game, and we make up too many rules. And it was we did it in the afternoon, and like we were so hammered. We actually had to cheat at our own game that we made up because we didn't want to just be sloppy drunk, like while doing this commentary and being on film or on the tape or on the
You and Christian were smart enough not to be drunk enough because you guys played with beer. I played with scotch. I was drunk enough.
Yeah, you were not smart enough to cheat at our own game. That's correct. You were the first official loser of the Gamers Dorkness Rising game.
Yes, I was.
So I saw a question earlier in chat, and I can't find it, but it was, did you ever get waffles after filming a day?
Ooh.
I think we got waffles during the Kickstarter for Journey Quest Season 1 at AFK Tavern. I don't think we got waffles. ZOECon 1 we got waffles.
Yeah. There was a waffles sort of like meet and greet kind of thing at a certain kind of AFK tavern, like Scott said. But on the day, on the actual shooting time, when we were doing Gamers Dorkness Rising, no, I don't believe we actually did waffles. Although that would have been fun. But like
it would have been.
We were doing like
we weren't smart enough then.
No, I don't say that. I would say that we were putting in like 12 and 14-hour days, and so at the end of it, we're like, fuck that. Like, we gotta go home. We gotta sleep.
I do remember, I gotta out, I won't say who. Anyway, one of the days, I, on occasion, would stop by Safeway and get the day-old donuts and bring them to set. And one of the times that we were shooting at Denning Castle, I remember the producer didn't take into account that we were going to be there for a 12-hour day and therefore need lunch. And so I had, I think, 3 dozen donuts, and everybody had those. And then he decided he was going to go in and get lunch for us, which was great. Okay, you're going to take one for the team. Awesome. And he showed up, Brian will back me up on this, with ding-dongs, a bag of oranges, and maybe some Capri Suns. And that was lunch for a 12-hour day. That's why he's no longer mentioned as a producer. One thing that I do want to do a shout out for that people can join if they would like to. I am going to be a part of a Shakespeare 101 for Animal Fire Theater Company, which is in Olympia, Washington. And on April 20th, these are all Sundays at, I believe we're going live at 6. Much like we went live at 6 tonight. April 26th, May 3rd, May 10th, and May 17th, we will be doing a Shakespeare 101, which will be Romeo and Juliet first, then Twelfth Night on the 3rd, Midsummer Night's Dream on the 10th, and on May 17th will be Taming of the Shrew. I am nobody in Romeo and Juliet. Well, I am. I'm the apothecary and some other dude. But I believe May 17th, Taming of the Shrew, I will be lucky enough to be playing Petruchio, which is a role I wanted to play when I did Taming of the Shrew, but I did Hortensio. And the 2 times I did Romeo and Juliet, I was Friar Lawrence, so I'm happy to be somebody less verbose in that. But I think if you go to Facebook, it's going to be a live broadcast on Zoom, and it's to support a bunch of our favorite local theaters in the South Sound area. So I'm not sure if it's going to go up to Tacoma, but probably the Tacoma Olympia area. So Harlequin, Animal Fire, Tacoma Little Theater, Lakewood Playhouse, a bunch of those theaters. It's just a bunch of local actors doing a Zoom cutting of some Shakespeare. So you can see 4 of Shakespeare's most produced pieces that I may or may not be a part of. So.
I have something to tack on to that. First of all, I'd like to I thank you very much for letting us know about that, Scott. Also, Scott is a part of a weekly podcast called Two Bards, One Mic that he does with Andy Ballhorn. Excuse me. Andy Dabrowski. So that happens every week. Please turn into Stitcher or wherever you get podcasts to find that. And we I believe most of us, maybe not, perhaps all of us, will be doing a ZOECon, a virtual ZOECon happening. I believe in 2 weeks' time, on the 24th and the 25th of April, 2020. And so, if you don't know anything about that, find out about that. ZOECon 2020, and you can get your little badge online, and you can be a part of some panels, and we're probably going to do shit like this, and we're going to do gaming, and we're going to do all kinds of stuff. It's going to be great. Come and say hi.
Yeah. So there's a link to that.
Yes.
In the chat. Some lovely people have dropped the link for that in the chat, so follow that for more information.
Oh, fantastic.
And then tomorrow, Friday, we will be streaming a 5th edition D&D game with Ethan, who is GMing Crawl Royale for, I think, just Christian and James. They might have more players. But
Maybe Maggie.
Monday, of course, is Masters of the Metaverse, 6 p.m. Tuesdays is Dead Gentleman Game Night.
Ooh, DJ Game Night!
Yeah. Are you guys still doing Demon Hunters? Do you know? No?
In what capacity? What do you mean, are we doing?
Well, up to recently, DG Game Night was doing a sort of a run of Demon Hunters games.
Yes,
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's correct. They've been doing a run of Demon Hunters games that are in between the Demon Hunters role-playing game, they're doing Masters of the Universe, I guess. Is
Metaverse.
Yeah. He-Man version. Yeah.
Excellent. And then Wednesday night is, of course, Rolling with the Odies, where they play games with the family. So.
And then next Thursday, it's us again.
It's us again.
So that's a whole week.
Wow.
Next week we'll be watching The Gamers 3, where you get to see these beautiful gentlemen again. And we're going to be joined by a couple other people, and we'll see who we get.
Right.
So
cool.
Come on back, and it'll be fun, everyone.
I don't think they're going to ask us back, Ryan.
And
it'll be new people.
For joining us online, and I hope you have a great night. Stay safe, play games, and wash your hands.
There are so many different things that you can do with your time, and there's so many things you can watch. If you watch this to the end, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you.
I do too. Everybody else already said everything. Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. All right, bye, everybody.
Bye.